you believe in the stories whispered on the wind, the chilling echoes that linger in forgotten halls across America. Certain places bear the indelible stain of tragedy, mystery, and unresolved pain. Imagine stepping into a history so dark, you can almost feel the phantom touch, hear the ghostly cries. Tonight, we embark on a journey into the heart of the paranormal, counting down the 15 most intensely haunted locations in the United States. Prepare yourself, for the past here is not just remembered, it breathes. 15. St. Augustine Lighthouse, St. Augustine, Florida. As the Atlantic mist clings to the ancient coquina walls of St. Augustine, a towering sentinel pierces the gloom, its light a beacon not just for ships, but for restless souls. Legend whispers that on moonless nights, the playful echoes of what once was still drift through these hallowed, cursed halls. A testament to innocent lives tragically lost. This iconic lighthouse, a stoic guardian of the coast, is renowned as one of Florida's most intensely haunted sites. A place where the veil between worlds feels perilously thin. The most poignant tales revolve around the tragic deaths of two young girls, Eliza and Mary Pitty, daughters of a lighthouse superintendent, who drowned in a terrible accident while playing near the construction site in the late 19th century. Visitors and staff alike frequently report the disembodied giggles and the faint, fleeting vision of a young girl in a blue dress, believed to be Eliza, on the spiral staircase or peering from the keeper's house. A palpable chill, unrelated to the sea air, can seize visitors without warning, a coldness that seems to press in on the very soul, often accompanied by the distinct sound of small or running feet or hushed whispers in empty rooms. The spiral staircase itself, a dizzying ascent, is said to echo with more than just human footsteps, the heavy, dragging steps of the first keeper, Peter Rasmussen, who reportedly fell to his death, still ascend and descend through the silent watch. In the keeper's quarters, the scent of phantom cigar smoke sometimes hangs heavy, a lingering presence from a past that refuses to fade, even now, with its beam still cutting through the darkness. The St. Augustine Lighthouse stands as a poignant monument to sorrow, its spectral inhabitants forever bound to its hallowed height, forever seeking the light that eluded them in life. And as the cold mist begins to lift from Florida's coast, another maritime giant steeped in its own dark legends waits patiently offshore, its decks still echoing with the specters of war and tragedy. 14. USS Lexington, Corpus Christi, Texas. Beneath the relentless Texas sun, a leviathan of steel rests, an imposing shadow against the horizon. The USS Lexington, a proud relic of naval power, now serves as a museum. Yet for those who walk her decks after dusk, she is far more than a monument. She is a floating tomb, a repository of echoes, where the spirits of her fallen crew still stand watch, trapped between the roar of battle and the silence of eternity. Known affectionately as the Blue Ghost during World War II for her uncanny ability to survive numerous attacks, the Lexington's spectral nickname has taken on a chilling literalism. The most famous resident, Charlie, a chief petty officer who perished in a fire in the engine room, is frequently encountered. Visitors report sudden drops in temperature, the disembodied sound of tools clanking, and shadowy figures guiding them through the ship's labyrinthine depths, only to vanish. On the vast, wind-swept flight deck, whispers of long-dead pilots preparing for takeoff can sometimes be heard, their spectral forms glimpsed in the periphery, forever reliving final patrols. The brig and infirmary, places of confinement and suffering, exude an oppressive heaviness, with reports of phantom cries and the chilling sensation of being watched. Doors slam, lights flicker, and cold spots migrate through passages like unseen currents, testifying to the restless energy that permeates this colossal vessel. Every clang of distant pipe, every creak of aging steel, seems to carry a mournful secret. The USS Lexington, a silent behemoth, remains a potent reminder that the ravages of war cling to the very vessels that bore witness to such horror. Her steel hull, once a shield, now serves as a vessel for the lost, where echoes of valor and despair continue their endless patrol. As the coastal night embraces her, a different kind of hospitality awaits further inland. In a grand old hotel where not all guests check out. 13. Hotel Monte Vista, Flagstaff. Arizona. Deep in the high desert of Flagstaff, Arizona, where the crisp mountain air carries whispers of the past, stands the Hotel Monte Vista. Its elegant facade, a beacon of bygone glamour, belies the chilling truth held within its walls that some guests arrive, but never truly depart, their spectral presence woven into the very fabric of this historic establishment. From its opening in 1927, this hotel has become a nexus of the supernatural, a place where the veil between worlds thins with each passing night. Perhaps the most infamous spectral resident is the phantom bellboy, whose ethereal knocks echo on guest room doors late at night. A chilling room service may precede his sudden disappearance, leaving behind only the cold imprint of his passing. Many have reported seeing him in the elevators or wandering the dimly lit corridors, forever tending to unseen guests. Room 220 harbors a particularly macabre tale. It's said a long-term tenant, dubbed the Meat Man, once hung raw cuts from the chandelier. Guests describe an inexplicable lingering scent of stale meat, profound cold spots, and the unsettling feeling of being intently watched by unseen eyes. Even the legendary John Wayne reportedly experienced a spectral hand shaking his bed during a stay here. The downstairs Rendezvous Lounge, once a speakeasy, is haunted by the restless spirits of 2 bank robbers shot and killed nearby. Bartenders and patrons alike have witnessed bottles rattling, glasses flying from shelves, and disembodied voices murmuring in the dim corners. Then there is room 305, where the spirit of a woman, perhaps thrown from the 3rd floor, is said to appear, her spectral form seen rocking gently in a chair. A silent, sorrowful tableau of her final moments. The Hotel Monte Vista, a grand dame of the Southwest, serves as a poignant reminder that even the most opulent settings can become eternal prisons for souls unable to move on. Each creak of the floorboards, each unexpected gust of cold air, is a testament to the myriad spectral stories still unfolding within its elegant facade. As the desert night yields to dawn, the chilling tales of Monte Vista fade, only to be replaced by the oppressive silence of another historic dwelling, one where secrets whisper not from opulent rooms, but from walls that bore witness to unspeakable domestic horror. Far to the west. 12. The Whaley House, San Diego, California. In the sun-drenched streets of Old Town San Diego, where the vibrant life of California usually pulses, a darker current runs through the foundations of the Whaley House. This seemingly quaint, historic structure stands as a testament not only to a bygone era, but to the enduring echoes of lives cut short. Built on ground soaked with the final breaths of a condemned man. Long before the first brick was laid, the land served as the site of a public gallows, where Yankee Jim Robinson met his fate by hanging in 1852. His spirit, it is said, never left. his heavy footsteps and tormented moans often heard clanking through the very halls where he once gasped his last. Thomas Whaley, who built his family home, a general store, and even San Diego's first courthouse on this haunted plot, scoffed at the notion of ghosts. Yet his own family would soon join the spectral residence. Guests and staff alike recount encounters with the entire Whaley family. Anna Whaley, the matriarch, is frequently seen gliding through rooms, her lavender scent sometimes preceding her appearance. Their daughter, Violet, who tragically took her own life within these walls, is often felt as a melancholic presence, a cold touch, or a whisper of sorrow. Even Thomas Whaley himself, a man of strong will in life, continues to supervise his spectral domain, his cigar smoke sometimes detected, his watchful gaze felt from unseen corners. Beyond these personal encounters, the house is a symphony of the supernatural disembodied voices calling out, objects moving on their own, chilling drafts in sealed room, and the inexplicable feeling of pressure, as if an invisible hand presses against your chest. The house, once a bustling center of life and law, now pulses with an unseen energy, a relentless replay of its tragic past. The Whaley house remains a chilling paradox, a bright facade in a sunny city, yet a perpetual twilight zone for those who dwell within its spectral embrace. It reminds us that some tragedies are so profound they seep into the very stones of a building, trapping their echoes in an eternal disquieting loop. Even as the sun sets on these haunted walls, the cold grip of the supernatural tightens, beckoning us eastward towards a majestic mountain resort where the grandeur of history is overshadowed by the chilling performances of its eternal guests. 11. The Stanley Hotel. Estes Park, Colorado high in the thin, crisp air of the Rocky Mountains, nestled amidst towering pines and perpetual shadows, stands a grand hotel whose elegant facade belies the chilling stories whispered within its opulent halls. This is the Stanley Hotel, a place so inherently unsettling it once inspired a masterpiece of terror, a beacon for those who seek beauty alongside dread, where the very air feels charged with residual energy. Built by Estes, Stanley in 1909, this majestic resort was meant as a health retreat, but it gained global infamy after Stephen King's unsettling stay in room 217 sparked the creation of The Shining. King may have immortalized its malevolent spirit, but the hotel's own history is already steeped in otherworldly encounters. The spirits of Whaley and Flora Stanley are said to remain, diligently overseeing their beloved creation. Flora, in particular, is often heard in the music room, her phantom fingers dancing across the piano keys, filling the grand space with a haunting, melancholic melody. Room 217, the very room that chilled King, is home to Elizabeth Wilson, a former head housekeeper. Guests report items moving on their own and a playful spectral presence. The fourth floor, once staff quarters, now reverberates with the ethereal laughter and playful footsteps of unseen children, their innocent merriment taking on a sinister edge. Down in the concert hall, the boisterous spirit of Paul, a former chief of maintenance, makes his presence felt, sometimes tugging at clothes. The Stanley isn't merely haunted, it's a living, breathing testament to the past, where the velvet ropes of time seem to fray, allowing its eternal residents to stroll freely. The Stanley Hotel offers a luxurious retreat. But beneath the polished surfaces and vintage charm, the veil between worlds remains thin, perpetually vibrating with unseen presences. As the mountain winds howl outside, carrying echoes of laughter and laments, one can only wonder, are these merely echoes, Or are the eternal guests of the Stanley still waiting for their next unsuspecting visitor from these hallowed, haunted heights? Our journey descends into the blood-soaked plains of history, where a grand battlefield still resonates with the cries of forgotten soldiers and the clatter of ghostly cavalry. 10. Gettysburg Battlefield, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. As the twilight descends upon the rolling hills of Gettysburg, a heavy silence falls, broken only by the mournful rustle of leaves, or is it the distant echo of cannon fire, the spectral lament of countless fallen souls? Here, in July 1863, the very ground drank deeply of blood, witnessing the bloodiest battle ever fought on American soil. A 3-day inferno that claimed over 50,000 lives and forever scarred the landscape. This profound, collective trauma has seeped into the very bedrock, leaving an indelible imprint of anguish and unresolved despair, a place where the air still crackles with the lingering charge of battle. Visitors to Devil's Den, a tangled labyrinth of boulders and shadows, frequently report encountering apparitions of Confederate soldiers, some so vivid they appear almost corporeal, only to vanish into the dense undergrowth. One particular phantom, a gaunt soldier described as resembling a hippie in his tattered uniform, is said to ask for directions before fading into the mists. On Little Round Top, the strategic high ground, the air thrums with residual energy, and tales persist of phantom charges on disembodied shouts and the chilling glint of bayonets in the pre-dawn light. Cemetery Hill, where Union lines held firm, is guarded by ghostly pickets, their spectral forms patrolling the same ground they defended in life, often accompanied by sudden, inexplicable drops in temperature. Sacks-covered bridge, a picturesque but eerie structure, carries the dark weight of alleged hangings, with shadowy figures and disembodied whispers frequently reported. The pervasive smell of gunpowder, the faint cries of the wounded, the clatter of ghostly equipment. These are the persistent echoes that refuse to be silenced. Gettysburg is more than a historical site. It is a vast, open-air graveyard where the past refuses to remain buried, its spectral inhabitants forever bound to the fields where they made their final stand. The profound sorrow and violent end of so many linger, a palpable presence that serves as a chilling testament to the thin veil between our world and the spectral realm. From these hallowed, blood-soaked grounds, our journey takes a stark turn, trading the mournful fields for the restless waters, where a majestic ocean liner now drifts in a perpetual state of spectral luxury. A queen haunted by her own tragic history. 9. Queen Mary, Long Beach, California. As the foghorns wail a mournful dirge across Long Beach Harbor, the grand silhouette of the Queen Mary emerges from the mist, a majestic ocean liner that once carried the elite and the desperate across vast seas. But beneath her elegant facade and polished decks lies a chilling truth: this vessel is a floating necropolis, a luxurious tomb where hundreds met their end, and their restless spirits refuse to disembark. She is a queen haunted by her own tragic history, her stately corridors echoing with the perpetual unrest of a forgotten era. During her service as a transatlantic liner and a troop ship in World War II, the Queen Mary witnessed countless births, deaths, and untold suffering. Accidents were frequent, suicides not uncommon, and the sheer density of human life aboard left an indelible psychic imprint. The engine room, a labyrinth of steel and shadows, is particularly notorious. Here, the spectral presence of John Henry, a crewman tragically crushed to death by a watertight door. Door 13 in 1966 is frequently reported. Visitors hear frantic knocks, disembodied shouts, and feel an inexplicable coldness near the deadly mechanism. The opulent first-class swimming pool, now drained, is home to the most famous spectral resident, Jackie, a young girl who drowned in the 1930s. Her playful giggles and the phantom splash of water are often heard, accompanied by small, wet footprints mysteriously appearing on the surrounding deck. Cabin B340, once considered the most haunted room on the ship, drove guests to such distress that it was permanently closed. Tales of objects flying, lights flickering, and violent shoves permeating its very walls. From the elegant Queen's Salon, where a white lady is seen dancing, to the children's playroom where the sound of toys clattering echoes in the dead of night. Every corner of this grand vessel seems to hum with a spectral energy. The Queen Mary remains anchored, a permanent host to its spectral passengers, their stories whispered on the salty breeze, a timeless voyage that never truly ends. From these haunted waters, we turn our gaze inward, towards the swamp-laden heart of the Deep South, where a legendary plantation cradles generations of dark secrets and restless souls beneath its moss-draped oaks. 8. Myrtles Plantation, St. Francisville, Louisiana, beneath the weeping willows and the heavy drapery of Spanish moss, where the air hangs thick with the scent of magnolias and buried secrets, stands Myrtles Plantation. Here, in the heart of Louisiana's bayou country, a grand antebellum estate cradles a history so dark, so steeped in tragedy and unresolved vengeance, that its very foundations seem to moan with the weight of spectral inhabitants. They say it's built on an ancient burial ground, a truth that might explain why over a dozen restless souls still walk its hallowed, yet cursed, grounds, eternally bound to the soil and the sprawling mansion. The most notorious specter belongs to Chloe, a slave girl said to have worn a green turban, who was hanged by her fellow slaves after poisoning the master's family with oleander leaves. Her vengeful spirit is often seen peering from windows or even caught in photographs, her eyes glinting with an ancient malice. Within the house, a large antique mirror is believed to contain the trapped spirits of the poisoned family members, their ghostly visages sometimes appearing in its tarnished surface, a silent testament to a betrayal that transcended life itself. Visitors report hearing the haunting strains of a grand piano playing by itself, the phantom footsteps of General David Bradford, a Revolutionary War figure who hid here, and the chilling final gasps of William Winter, who was shot on the porch in 1871 and crawled back inside, leaving a bloody trail that some say still manifests. Children's laughter and the bouncing of a spectral ball echo from the nursery, adding a layer of innocent tragedy to the sinister undercurrents. The Myrtles Plantation is not merely a house, but a living museum of torment, where the past refuses to recede, and the veil between worlds feels perilously thin. Every creak of the floorboards, every whisper in the humid air serves as a grim reminder that some debts are paid in perpetuity, long after death has claimed its due. From these moss-draped depths of Southern Gothic horror, we journey westward to a mansion born of a widow's endless grief and a paranoia that defied all reason. 7. Winchester Mystery House, San Jose, California. Behind the manicured hedges of San Jose, where the California sun struggles to penetrate the oppressive shadow of an endless obsession, stands the Winchester Mystery House. It is a sprawling, bewildering labyrinth born from a widow's grief, guilt, and a terrifying belief that she was pursued by the vengeful spirits of those felled by her family's rifles. For 38 years, construction never ceased, day and night, hammers echoing like phantom heartbeats, forever adding rooms, staircases, and doors to nowhere, a desperate attempt to confuse and appease the spectral masses that haunted Sarah Winchester's every waking moment. Enter its halls, and you step into a waking nightmare of impossible architecture, staircases that climb directly into ceilings, doors that open onto brick walls or sheer drops, windows peering into other rooms, and a pervasive, eerie silence broken only by the creak of unseen forces. Visitors report disorienting cold spots, the whisper of unseen presences, and the spectral sight of Sarah herself, forever tinkering with her endless monument to the dead. The spirit of a carpenter who died in the house is said to still patrol the halls, his tools clinking softly, eternally completing tasks that were never truly finished. The house, a sprawling, nonsensical puzzle box, feels less like a dwelling and more like a colossal, multi-dimensional trap designed by a tormented mind. The Winchester Mystery House remains a testament to a woman's profound fear and the relentless power of the unseen. A place where the very structure breathes with the unresolved anxieties of its creator and the spectral echoes of those she sought to evade. From this monument to psychological torment and endless building, we descend into the grim stone walls of a place where countless human souls truly met their bitter, public end. 6. Old Charleston Jail, Charleston, South Carolina. In the heart of historic Charleston, and where cobblestone streets whisper tales of gentility and grace, stands a formidable stone edifice that screams a far darker history. The Old Charleston Jail. From the bewildering, endless construction of the Winchester Mansion, we descend into a place where walls were built not to confuse the dead, but to contain the living, and ultimately, to witness their final brutal moments. Built in 1802, its thick, crumbling walls once housed some of the region's most notorious criminals. From pirates and Civil War prisoners to the chilling figures of Lavinia Fisher, America's first female serial killer, and Gullah Jack, a leader of the Denmark Vesey slave revolt. The very air within feels heavy, thick with the residue of despair, disease, and violent ends. Each brick seems to weep with untold sorrows, echoing the screams of prisoners who languished in its squalid cells, the desperate prayers of those awaiting execution, and the chilling finality of the gallows that once stood within its oppressive embrace. Visitors frequently report drastic temperature drops, disembodied whispers slithering through the shadows, and the palpable sensation of being watched by unseen eyes. The malevolent spirit of Lavinia Fisher, reportedly executed in a white gown, is said to roam the upper floors, her spectral presence a cold, hateful breath on the back of the neck. Other accounts speak of shadow figures darting through hallways, the distinct clang of phantom cell doors, and the overwhelming feeling of being pushed or grabbed by invisible hands. The Old Charleston Jail remains a stark, chilling monument to human cruelty and the enduring echo of profound anguish, a place where the tormented spirits refuse to be locked away, eternally replaying their grim fates. As we leave these cold, unforgiving walls, we prepare to enter an even grander, more notorious institution of confinement, where countless numbers suffered in silence and their pain etched itself into the very stone. 5. Eastern State Penitentiary, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. From the grim and echoing walls of the Old Charleston Jail, we venture further into the heart of human despair, to a place where the very concept of punishment was revolutionized into a silent, psychological torment. Eastern State Penitentiary. This colossal Gothic fortress, once hailed as a marvel of modern design, pioneered the system of solitary confinement, believing that silence and isolation would lead to penitence. But what it truly created was a crucible for madness, a vast, desolate space where the only company was one's own demons, and often the specters of others. As you step through its crumbling gates, the air itself feels charged with residual pain, a cold, oppressive weight that clings to the decaying cell blocks. Shadows stretch like skeletal fingers across the peeling paint and rusting bars. Remnants of a time when prisoners, including the notorious Al Capone, endured maddening solitude in cells where even a whisper was forbidden. Visitors recount disembodied cries and groans echoing from empty corridors, the chilling laughter of unseen entities, and the unnerving sensation of being watched by malevolent eyes from vacant guard towers. Many have reported inexplicable cold spots, phantom touches, and distinct shadow figures lurking in the corners of cell block 12, a particularly notorious section, or within the claustrophobic medical wing. The silence here is not peaceful. It is a profound, active silence, a void pregnant with the tormented energy of thousands who lost their minds, their hopes, and ultimately, their lives within these formidable walls. Eastern State Penitentiary stands as a monumental testament to both architectural ambition and human suffering, its imposing silhouette a permanent scar on the landscape, a place where the echoes of institutionalized despair persist, refusing to be confined. As we emerge from this labyrinth of sorrow, we brace ourselves for an intimate encounter with a far more concentrated, sudden horror, born not of slow decay but of a singular, brutal night. For Villisca Axe Murder House, Villisca, Iowa, from the sprawling institutional sorrow of the penitentiary, we are drawn to a horror far more intimate, a concentrated burst of terror that forever stained a quiet Iowa home, in the small, unassuming town of Villisca. On a sweltering June night in 1912, 8 souls, the 6 members of the Moore family and 2 visiting children, were brutally murdered in their sleep by an unknown assailant wielding an axe. This quaint White House became an eternal monument to an unsolved atrocity. A silent scream frozen in time, its cheerful exterior belying the profound darkness within. Step inside, and the stifling silence immediately presses in, heavy with the weight of unspeakable violence. The air here doesn't merely feel cold, it feels violated, as if the very atoms absorbed the terror of that night, clinging to the original furnishings that bear witness to the horror. Every shadow seems to lengthen, to twist into grotesque shapes reminiscent of the unseen killer. Visitors recount the distinct sounds of children's laughter and whispers from empty rooms, the inexplicable movement of objects, and the chilling sensation of unseen hands brushing against them. In the upstairs bedroom, where the Moore parents met their horrifying end, a profound dread often grips those who dare to linger, and some have reported an overwhelming urge to flee, a primal instinct triggered by an unseen presence. Toys left for the murdered children are sometimes found rearranged, and the distinct sound of an axe striking wood has been reported. A gruesome echo of the past that still resonates within these blood-soaked walls. The Villisca Axe Murder House stands as a stark reminder that some wounds in history never heal. Some questions never find answers. The spirits of the innocent, trapped in this domestic mausoleum, continue their spectral vigil, perhaps forever seeking justice, or simply an end to their endless night, their torment forever etched into the very fabric of the house. As we leave this scene of concentrated horror, we now turn our gaze towards an even grander, more sprawling monument to human suffering, where madness was not a sudden act, but a slow, agonizing descent. 3. Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, Weston, West Virginia. From the intimate horror of a family home, we are now drawn to a monolith of collective suffering, a towering stone testament to human anguish and the shadows of the mind, built in the mid-19th century with noble intentions. The Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum was designed to be a sanctuary, a place of healing. Instead, its grand Gothic revival walls soon became a sprawling prison for thousands, where overcrowding, experimental treatments, and sheer neglect turned a haven into a living nightmare. The building itself, with its imposing facade and countless windows staring out like vacant eyes, seems to embody the very madness it once contained. Step through its decaying thresholds, and the sheer weight of sorrow is palpable. The air here doesn't just feel cold, it feels heavy, laden with the echoes of desperate screams, the clanking of chains, and the mournful whimpers of those deemed beyond salvation. Visitors report disembodied voices whispering from empty cells, the phantom sounds of patients shuffling through the infirmary, and the unsettling sensation of being watched from the darkened corners of the psychiatric dungeon, where the most violent were housed. Legends tell of Lily, a young girl who died within these walls and still plays with her ball, her innocent laughter a chilling counterpoint to the pervasive despair. In the electroshock therapy rooms, a lingering charge seems to prickle the skin, a ghost of electric current still passing through the air, while the operating theaters retain a chilling scent of antiseptic and forgotten pain. The Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum remains a haunting echo chamber, where the cries of the afflicted never truly fade, forever trapped in the labyrinthine stone, a perpetual monument to sanity lost and souls forgotten. And yet, this grand, imposing edifice is but one chapter in a darker tale of institutional abandonment and systematic cruelty, as we now turn to a place where innocence itself was systematically stripped away, leaving only scars that bleed through time. 2. Pennhurst State School and Hospital, Spring City, Pennsylvania. A cold shroud of forgotten screams hangs heavy over Pennhurst, a sprawling monument to an era when society often chose to warehouse its most vulnerable rather than care for them. Once envisioned as a haven for the intellectually and physically disabled, Pennhurst quickly devolved into a living nightmare, its walls bearing silent witness to decades of systematic abuse, neglect, and dehumanization. The very air here feels thick with despair, a suffocating weight that presses down on anyone who dares to walk its desolate corridors. Step inside, and the silence is not empty, but pregnant with the echoes of tormented lives. Visitors report disembodied cries of children, plaintive whimpers from empty dormitories, and the chilling sensation of unseen hands brushing against their skin. Shadows dance with a life of their own, twisting into grotesque forms in the periphery, remnants of the suffering etched into the very stones. In the former treatment rooms, a palpable sense of fear still clings, as if the anguish of past residents undergoing barbaric procedures has never dissipated. Legends speak of a shadow man who roams the abandoned halls, and the playful, yet profoundly sad, giggles of children heard only by those attuned to the spectral whispers of the past. The institutional cruelty here wasn't just a byproduct, it was woven into the fabric of daily life. And that dark energy is a permanent resident. Pennhurst stands as a stark, chilling reminder that some scars never heal, some injustices never find peace. Its decaying structures are not merely ruins but an open wound, perpetually bleeding the silent stories of the innocent whose dignity was stripped away within its confines. And from this place of profound human betrayal, we are inexorably drawn to another grand edifice, where a different, more pervasive kind of suffering manifested, claiming thousands in its silent, relentless grasp. 1. Waverly Hills Sanatorium, Louisville, Kentucky. From the verdant hills of Kentucky, a monolithic shadow rises, a stark, imposing structure whose very stones seem to weep with the sorrow of thousands. Waverly Hills Sanatorium, once a beacon of hope against the creeping terror of tuberculosis, quickly became a monument to death, its corridors echoing with the final gasps of over 63,000 souls claimed by the White Plague. The air here is not merely still, it is heavy, thick with the concentrated despair of an era, a palpable miasma of suffering that clings to every decaying brick and rusting pipe. Step inside this immense tomb, and the silence is deceptive, for beneath its surface, a symphony of torment plays on. Here, experimental treatments often proved more torturous than therapeutic, leaving a residue of unimaginable pain etched into the very fabric of the building. The infamous body chute, a clandestine tunnel designed to discreetly remove the ceaseless stream of deceased patients, serves as a grim umbilical cord to the past, a chilling testament to the overwhelming scale of loss. Visitors recount hearing the phantom coughs of consumptive patients, the distant, heart-wrenching cries of unseen children like Timmy, who supposedly haunts the sunroom, and the anguished screams emanating from the dreaded Room 502, where 2 nurses are said to have met their tragic ends, one by suicide, the other by murder. Shadow figures dart through peripheral vision, cold spots manifest inexplicably, and disembodied voices whisper warnings, sometimes even calling out names, a desperate plea from a forgotten time. Waverly Hills isn't merely a building, it's a vast open wound in the landscape, a place where the veil between life and death is worn threadbare by an ocean of tears and unspoken goodbyes. The sheer volume of human suffering concentrated within these walls has imprinted an energy so profound, so terrifyingly vibrant, that it continues to pulse with the sorrow of 1,000 lifetimes. It is the ultimate testament to a past that refuses to die, forever holding court over its silent, spectral residents. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this chilling journey, don't forget to like, comment with your favorite haunted location, and subscribe for more weekly videos from the shadows.